Welcome to Bible in a Year, Day 83. Today we discuss Joshua chapters 5 through 8. When the kings in the areas west of the Jordan heard that Israel had crossed on dry land, they were worried. Joshua prepares the hearts of the nation of Israel for battle, first by getting all the males born in the wilderness circumcised, and then by celebrating the annual event, the Passover. They began eating fruit and produce of the land, so there was no longer a need or provision for manna. Joshua meets face to face with a man that identifies himself as the commander of the army of the Lord. Joshua falls on his face in worship and is asked to take off your sandals, for the place where you are standing is holy. At the direction of the Lord, Joshua instructs the priests to take the Ark of the Covenant and for Israel to march around the city of Jericho one time, 6 days in a row. During this march each day, the priests loudly blew trumpets continuously. I'm guessing this march and noise unnerved the king and inhabitants of Jericho. On the seventh day, they marched around the city 7 times, and at Joshua's command, the whole army shouted for the Lord to give them the city. The wall fell down flat. Joshua sent the 2 spies that Rahab had helped to rescue her and her family, but the remainder of the city was destroyed. Before they go in to completely burn the city, Joshua warns them, "Keep yourselves from the things devoted to destruction," which was everything. They were not to plunder anything from the city. Chapter 6, verse 27. So the Lord was with Joshua, and his fame was in all the land, as they were victorious over Jericho. Achan, from the tribe of Judah, ignored Joshua and took some devoted items as plunder. Next, Joshua sent a smaller portion of his men to defeat Ai, a much smaller city than Jericho. Ai defeated Israel's army. Joshua tore his clothes, I'm sure confused, and went before God. God informs Joshua that Israel sinned and did take plunder from Jericho. The Lord reveals that it was Achan who took the plunder. When questioned, Achan answers, "Truly I have sinned against the Lord God of Israel." He goes on to admit what he took and where he hid it. As a result, Achan was stoned to death, with all that he possessed were also burned and stoned. Now the Lord instructs Joshua to fight Ai again. Joshua strategizes an ambush in which Ai thinks they are chasing Israel away for a second time, only this time they are ambushed by the bulk of the army of Israel that Joshua had placed behind the city. To make no mistake that God is responsible for the win, in chapter 8, verse 18, we learn, "Then the Lord said to Joshua, stretch out the javelin that is in your hand toward Ai, for I will give them into your hand." Joshua did not draw back his hand until the city was completely destroyed and all of its inhabitants. Joshua builds an altar and sacrifices and worships God, and writes on stones a copy of the law of which Moses had written. He then reads the entire law before the assembly. In these 2 battles, obedience to God is necessary to gain victory. I pray that I listen, that I hear, and that I obey Christ daily. Join tomorrow for Joshua chapters 9 through 11. Have a blessed day.